You know how old JSNP4 tells you? Give me a second. Let me see. Real quick, YouTube, my YouTube page. Inbox. Sent items. What I sent. Been talking to a guy about some silver investment. He wanted to spend around $30K. I think he's what he said on some silver. We were talking about the markets and then how they, he asked me some stuff about it. My response was, as far as how the elite can still control it. We talked about the position limits and stuff, I believe. I told him this. They can raise or lower margins whenever they feel like it. The CME group can. They can also change the rules mid-game. The only thing that will destroy their game is exposing them and their game and buying up the physical silver until deliveries cannot be made. That's what my response was. That was on actually Friday, 9/28/2012. Now today, considering it's 12:23 a.m., it's actually Sunday, so it's 9/30/2012. I didn't spend an ounce of energy researching anything Friday night after work or Saturday today because I have been working on another video/music edit by JSNP4. This has got to be my best one today. You are going to absolutely love this. I may give you a little tiny... It's ready to go. I can upload it right now, but I think I'm going to save it till Monday morning. This is fantastic. Another thing on Ben Bernanke. You are going to love this. This is my best work so far. I'm not in the mood now to tell you the news. But besides this news, I was working on my video today. My little audio thing. You're going to love it. So that was my response to him. And I just got some news. It came out late Friday after the markets closed, after there's no news running, that kind of thing, as expected. CFTC, excuse me, wrong page. Judge throws out, Friday, markets closed. Judge throws out CFTC's position limit rules that were set to kick in a mere 2 weeks from now. The position limits on silver we've been all waiting for. Even though it was a spot month, and I said it, even though it's a spot month, that doesn't really mean much because they have all the other months to play the game and buy contracts, so who cares about the spot month anyways? And I wasn't sure whether that spot month could really be powerful enough of a tool for us to keep these bastards from manipulating the market. Apparently it might. It may. Judge throws out CFTC's position limit rules. Immediately brainstorming JSNP4. Who is the judge? Who appointed the judge? Critical. Just like I dissected the other story the other day when the judge ruled on a 2007 case about a hedge fund, or not a hedge fund, a brokerage, whatever, just like MF Global, intermingling client funds with their own to secure a loan from a bank. And then they went bankrupt. The bank became first in line to get the money back. All the people who had money in their accounts at the brokerage lost it all, and the judge ruled nothing wrong here. You lost the money. The bank is first in line. It wasn't stolen from you. Get lost. Just perfectly timed, of course. So what did I do? Who is that judge? I found his name. I mean, it was in the story. So, okay, Wikipedia. All the information on the judge you could ever dream about. Appointed by who? George Bush Jr. Naturally. Appointed by George Bush Jr. The elite appoint their friends so that their friends do their bidding and always find them not guilty, always find them credible, always find them doing everything perfectly, they didn't break the law, etc. As I explained then. You don't look at me like that. You don't think they're doing that again with the No, let's just read. Come on, let's be fair here. This is America. This isn't a third world country, is it? Come on, let's be fair. A U.S. judge handed an 11th hour victory to Wall Street's biggest commodity traders on Friday, knocking back tough new regulations that would have cracked down on speculation in energy, grain, and metal markets. Now, it's funny because the CFTC just smashed Citigroup fined them, even though it was a piece of crap fine, was still caught red-handed. Citigroup manipulating the futures contracts in the wheat markets by having more positions than they were allowed to have. And then what do we have a few days later, which was actually a couple days ago? JP Morgan caught manipulating the futures on the cotton market, doing the same damn thing, having an excess amount of contracts in and over the amount allowed by law. Hence, position limits. Nope, they went over the limits. And they caused damage, caused markets to be wrong, the price. Now there could be lawsuits. Individuals, as I said in my video, if you were an individual, you can sue them. I don't care if the SEC or the CFTC fined them a measly $600,000, which is not even a penny on a dollar. That's like a fraction of a penny in the amount of money they made shorting that market back when they did it. But that doesn't stop you from being able to sue them. So if you were affected, you need to go after them. Same with Citigroup. If you were playing the wheat thing in 2009 when they said this, the wheat contracts, you could do it. So here we have Judge Robert Wilkins. Oh, there's his name. I'm going to have to go research him. I'll give you a little hint. I've already done it and I got the page up on standby. Judge Robert, where's my tie? Robert, excuse me. The Honorable Judge Robert Wilkins of the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia, D.C. Imagine that. Throughout the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission's new ability position limits rule and sent the regulation back to the agency for further consideration. Not good enough, says the judge. Wilkins ruled that by law, the CFTC was required to prove that the position limits in commodity markets are necessary to begin with to diminish or prevent excessive speculation. So they have to prove that the position limits in commodities markets or commodity markets are necessary to diminish or prevent excessive speculation. They just settled with Citigroup. They just settled with JP Morgan Chase, who's also the one manipulating the silvers market, by the way. Caught red-handed. And JP Morgan was also caught not even a week or two ago manipulating the energy markets in California. There's 3 very recently cases where they got caught. Judge Bozo Wilkins, dishonorable idiot. There's your evidence. Doesn't seem like you should have said anything, you freaking bozo. But then again, if he was handpicked, but I don't know yet because we haven't looked, right? We don't know what Wikipedia says. But if he was handpicked by our president, or maybe George Bush, the former president, then all this makes sense now, doesn't it? It's the club putting more of their people in place. And on these critical decisions, what are the chances that every time it's another piece of crap on the taxpayer that happens, they crap on the taxpayer and somehow Wall Street, the giants win again. The Wall Street giant conglomerates win again. No. He also ruled that the amendments to the 2010 Dodd-Frank financial oversight law, quote, do not constitute a clear and unambiguous mandate to set position limits, as the commission argues. The ruling is a major victory to traders just 2 weeks before parts of the new position limit rule were scheduled to go in effect. Hold on. What was that thing I just sent that guy on response on YouTube? They can raise or lower margins whenever they feel like it. The CME group can. The elite, the boys, the club, can also change the rules mid-game. So we had Congress write legislation that says, I want you to do this. Period. Not prove that you need to do it. You've come to us, you voiced concern. You're an agency that regulates that and that market. We as Congress are passing the Dodd-Frank Act. Go ahead and put position limits in. I don't think a court is going to be able to overturn that and say, well, we need proof that this would, is necessary. The proof's already there. It's why they already spoke to the CFTC to come up with the Dodd-Frank Act to begin with. So, That's my response. And then literally later that day, because it was the 28th technically speaking, this story comes out. I'm reading it for the first time right now at midnight on the next day, Saturday, or technically Sunday because it's midnight. So having said that, let's go ahead and look at who's Robert L. Wilkins. Well, let's see what Wikipedia says. He was born in 1963 and is a United States District Judge in D.C. Okay, yeah, we know that. He was previously an attorney in Washington, D.C. Okay. Graduated with a Bachelor of Science in 1986. He earned his Juris Doctor from Harvard Law School in 1989. After completing law school, Wilkins served as a law clerk for Judge Earl B. Gilliam of the United States District Court for the Southern District of California. Wilkins worked at the Public Defender Service for the District of Columbia from 1990 to 2002, so that's 12 years, serving as Chief of Special Litigation from 1996 to 2000. I wonder what kind of special litigation. Since 2002, Wilkins has been a partner at the Washington, D.C.-based law firm of Venable LLP, V-E-N-A-B-L-E LLP. I didn't go into the detail to see who is that, right? What law firm is that and who are they tied to? I didn't go there. I didn't need to yet. Wilkins was a member of the Presidential Commission that advised President George W. Bush on the establishment of the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of African American History and Culture. Okay, what's next? Judicial Service. Okay, here we go. During the 111th Congress, Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton recommended Wilkins for filling a vacancy on the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, the one he's at now. On May 20th, 2010, President Barack Obama nominated Wilkins to a judgeship on the District Court for the District of Columbia. He was not confirmed by the United States Senate, of course. On December 22nd, 2010, he received his commission on December 27th, 2010. And now it's time for old Judge Wilkins to put down a massive ruling on something very, very important. The commodities market, position limits. And it's not necessarily position limits on just this or that. It's specifically silver, and you and I both know it. And gold too. But considering JP Morgan was nailed for manipulating cotton futures on the same commodities market, cotton futures, Citigroup, wheat futures, JP Morgan, energy futures, I don't think there's anything else left for bozo Judge Wilkins, the dishonorable piece of crap, elitist scumbag. He has no right to do that. But again, if you're at the top, and I'm not talking the president, you're above the president. You put the two presidential candidates out there to say you two guys are running against each other, and whichever one of you wins, you basically working for us, my little club. We're the Wall Street gang. Judge appointed by old Bush. Republicans, those damn Republicans. Judge appointed by Republican George Bush found that you can steal money, banks can steal money, brokerages can steal money from their clients, and no one goes to jail unless you're a small fry, like PFG Best, that company. He'll go to jail because he did the same thing, but he's not one of the club, so he went to jail. But when it's one of the club, a judge stands up. There's nothing wrong with this. So if I was the guy PFG Best doing jail, I'd file an appeals court. Matter of fact, can we have the same judge that George Bush assigned that did this specifically from 2007, that found them not guilty of stealing client funds? I want to appeal to him. So that was a Republican President Bush. Now we've got Democrat Obama. Who does he appoint? Mr. Wilkins. What does Mr. Wilkins find? Judge Wilkins? That you can't implement that position limits rule, even though there's already position limits on other commodities, which is why Citigroup got nailed for the wheat futures, and the same thing with JP Morgan. So what is this? A kangaroo court? They just make stuff up as they go? There are already limits on things. That's what I just read it off the CFTC website. Does it really matter that he just smacked us down? No. No, it doesn't. Because more and more and more and more and more people are understanding that gold and silver are money, and more and more and more and more of those people want to secure it. With stories like tungsten-filled gold and missing allocated gold out of accounts and wrong serial number bars out of accounts that are very recent serial numbers as opposed to ones that were years old that they had in the account originally. People understanding that this serial number is way newer than what I put in there. No one's supposed to have access to my box. How did they get into my box? At least the gold's there. And as I said this a while ago, all you people that had allocated accounts that got lucky and your gold was still in there even though the serial number is wrong, I highly urge you to drill into it. I highly urge you to drill into it, because here's the best. Here, let me tell you how this is going to go now. And when this happens, I'm going to already have been doing 1,000 other videos that I will forget that I'm saying this now. So if you don't mind, when this happens, just remind me, maybe jot this video number down, or the date today, 9/30/2012, September 30th, 2012, that I'm saying all these people who happen to get lucky and get their gold in their allocated accounts, even though the serial numbers were wrong, they may decide, I'm going to drill into them. Oh my God, there's tungsten inside of these things. And just a tiny coating of gold on the outside. Oh my God, I'm going to sue that financial institution that had my gold. Because when I first put my gold in there, I had these serial numbers and they didn't match. They gave me different serial numbers and I want my real gold back. You don't think, bear with me now, you don't think that the courts are going to say, how did you know the original bars weren't also filled with tungsten? The ones you put in there originally with the original serial numbers. The serial numbers you have on the paperwork originally. How can you prove that the gold bars you put in there originally weren't also tungsten filled? Because they're gone. You got new bars in replacement. You didn't file a lawsuit against that, so you were okay with that. Now you've got tungsten filled bars, and now you're going after the bank. But we're going to have to side with the bank as a court of law here, because the bank never knew one way or the other whether that gold had tungsten or not in it, and neither did you. So you can't say that the original bar you put in there to begin with wasn't also tungsten filled. I'm saying it right now. I'm getting this out there now. This is another absolutely phenomenal, probably maybe even the best reason that you should be owning physical silver. Because they're not going to mess with this cheap, inexpensive silver. $30 an ounce for silver. Now pushing $1,800 an ounce for gold. They're not going to waste their time with silver. At least in 1 ounce and, little tiny 1 ounce coins and stuff. It's the bigger bars that they really mess with, and that's gold. I don't think they're going to be doing that in silver. If they are doing it in silver, it's going to remain to be seen. But I will tell you this, the Webbot report never mentioned anything about false or fake or, something or another filled silver. No problems with silver. It was gold that the Webbot mentioned before any of these stories about tungsten-filled bars were even a thought or a figment in your imagination. The Webbot called it. And then the other day, 10 more bars. They checked the other 10 bars in that jewelry store or whatever in New York, wherever that was, right? They're also filled with tungsten. $18,000 worth of gold when it should have been over $100,000 worth of gold, because they got crapped on with $1 worth of tungsten that filled the difference, because they weigh virtually the same. You know what I always say? The people that do the right thing. And people think doing the right thing is listening to the expert advisor. We don't advise you keeping gold at your house. We advise you putting it in an allocated account. If you're going to play with physical gold anyways. We don't even advise you of doing that. You should be playing with the futures contracts or paper gold such as the GLD. That's what we advise you as professional advisors. But if you're going to get physical, put it in an allocated account because it's safe. No one can touch it. It's safe. It's like a safety deposit box. What has happened? The safe thing, not so safe. Missing gold out of some people's account. They don't know where it went. Other accounts, wrong serial numbers. How did this happen? And again, I'm telling you now, there will be tungsten-filled bars being replaced. They're taking real gold from people's allocated accounts, melting it down, whatever they do with it, to put out these fires on Wall Street, on the COMEX, putting back gold that is tungsten-filled. I will almost guarantee you that this is what's going to happen. As I said before, we don't want to be shipping 400-ounce bars to countries that are demanding delivery, or when you hear China buying tons and Russia and India buying tons of gold, we really don't want to send them tungsten. That's how you start a war. But we certainly don't mind screwing the little guy like we always do as the elite. I'm pretending I'm the elite right now. We don't mind screwing the little guy who listened to our experts that we trained in our schools so that we already knew what they would be advising you before they even graduated out of school. It's common knowledge. Just put it in an allocated account. Don't listen to these idiots on YouTube, these guys that do videos, fake green screens in laundry room, and guys that do videos in their church, guys that drive down the street in a car, guys that aren't even qualified, don't have a degree, don't have a certification in the financial world. You're going to listen to them? Oh yeah, and I've said it before. Yeah, you're going to, if you're smart. If you have any critical thinking skills whatsoever. You can already see there's tungsten-filled gold bars. It's already news now. You can already see those bars have been replaced, whether they're tungsten-filled or not, we don't know yet, but they're being replaced. You can already see there's problems with deliveries, gold and silver. They refuse to deliver 5 million and 10 million ounce orders on silver. If it was going to leave the LBMA system, they wouldn't even place the orders. They don't have it. This is facts. You're a moron, an idiot, if you're going to play any paper game right now. Futures contracts, whatever, GLD, SLV, you are a freaking moron. If you don't have any choice in the world and you're stuck with the SLV or something, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm a physical, all silver, physical kind of guy. So, another day, more corruption, hidden under the rug, swept away. So I got to do this. I'm gonna give you a little taste, a very tiny taste of the song that I've got coming. It's already ready to go. I'm just not going to upload it yet. But I am going to give you a little taste of this song. And you may know Bryan Adams, The Summer of '69. This one's about Ben Bernanke, the summer of 2009, when QE started. I got my first real printing press. In case you didn't hear those lyrics, I got my first real printing press. That's all you get. That's all you get. You are going to die. You are going to flip out, I think, when you see this video that I did, that one. I may have to release the bastard tomorrow. I don't know. I may have to. I've already watched it 100 times already, and I crack up every time. And there's even bonus deleted footage at the end that you will also enjoy. Anyways, stay strong. Don't let this story bother you. The CFTC and the judge, don't worry about it. This may, hopefully, force the CFTC to say, oh, judge, you want some hard cases of manipulation? Well, just so happens that we haven't ruled on JP Morgan's manipulation, our investigation into that silver market. Now that you've come out and threw this out, judge, JP Morgan's found guilty. Manipulating the silver market. Now, judge, overturn that decision. Back to the way it was. October 12th, we're back online for position limit rules kicking in. That's how this should go. I'm not going to hold my breath and think that the CFTC all of a sudden, with Gary the Turd Burglar Gensler, who was former Goldman Sachs, Jill Summers, also on the commission, former, I think, JP Morgan or maybe Goldman Sachs, actually Goldman Sachs also, etc. I'm not holding my breath, but, maybe we'll get lucky. Every now and then we do get lucky. Very, very seldom. Take care.